morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. So we get people in here this morning. This Facebook stuff. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't have my sidekick. Jay is not with me this morning. We got a couple of challenges that we're doing. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Michelle. Yes, please, while I am trying to figure out this quick thing on Facebook here, say good morning to everybody in the chat, please. It is cold this morning. I don't care where you are. I got to believe it's cold wherever you are, unless you're in the Caribbean. But for the most part, it is chilly across the board. Good morning, Colin. Man, Colin, your dedication, man. You're in Seattle. You're on Pacific time, and you're here with us this morning. So I appreciate you being here that early in the morning with us each and every morning. So good morning to you. Morning, Chris, my man, Chad Free. It's got to be cold in South Carolina too, Chad. It's got to be cold there too. It is. It is. He's layered. He's layered. He is layered. We got Glenn from Pennsylvania. It's got to be cold in Pennsylvania. I mean, it is cold here. It's cold in Charlotte. All right. Good morning, Facebook world. Good morning, Zoom world, as we get people in here today. Maritza, good morning to you, Maritza. And guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not good like Jay. I don't know how to do it. So we're just gonna put it on. We are just going to go on one Facebook channel today. So I'm sure everybody's going to be okay with that. But good morning, all. Good morning, all to you as I warm up my hands here. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a phenomenal weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. It was nice. It was sunny here in Charlotte. Got to spend some time. A little bit of soccer with the kids. Bryce got kicked in the stomach with the soccer ball, and it really was not that bad of a kick. But let me just tell you, you would have thought that he got hit with the 90-mile-an-hour fastball, like the world was coming to an end. He just like stopped, and here's dad trying to be like, son, walk it off, come on. And I'm like trying to be like that father figure in front of everybody. It was a very unique situation the first time being in that. You know, Brielle, my 10-year-old, I'm a little bit more sensitive because she's a girl, even though I'm not that sensitive. But Bryce, I'm like, Bryce, get over here. Come on now, get yourself together here. You're not that. Come on, it's just a soccer ball. But he fought through it, and guess what I did? I negotiated. I said, Bryce, if you go out there and score a goal, I'll get you a donut. And let me just tell you, his face, Laura, his mom was looking at me. She's like, you think that's going to work? And I go, watch this. And guess what? He scored a goal, guys. He scored a goal. So whatever it takes to get you rocking and rolling this morning, it could be a donut. It could be just being on here this morning to motivate you. For him, it was a donut. And he was so excited. Like literally, he ran over to me. He's like, Dad, do I get a donut? I said, you certainly do. You get a donut. So anyways, happy Monday to everybody. Happy Monday. That's how we're starting off today. First day of spring. You're absolutely right, Glenn. It is the first day of spring. It actually happens at 5:24 today. The only reason why I know it is because when I was on my elliptical machine this morning, I saw it. I was like, why? Who creates that time? Like who says 5:24 spring? I don't know, but somebody who makes more money and has more power than me can decide when spring is. Good morning, everybody. My name is Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate agent, and a dad. You already heard my dad's story this weekend. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. Good morning, Karen. For those on the Facebook world joining us, thank you so much. So here's the topic today, okay? 2 parts today on the topic that I chose, Ian. So one of the things I got with John Maxwell is the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Now, you might say, well, Brock, I'm not a leader. First of all, we're going to have that conversation. Second of all, the other book that I'm reading is called Person of Interest with my coach, Michael Burt. So I'm studying. Yesterday, actually outside, I read for about 2 hours of the laws of influence and the person of interest. And I thought it was very fascinating when I read this. But before I begin the reading, I just want to share with you. Let's start. I wrote down, I was like, I can't forget affirmations. Our affirmation, for those of you who are just on here, we always start off with our affirmations. Something good is going to happen to me. Something good is going to happen through me. All together now. Something good is going to happen to me. something good is going to happen through me. So I just always, we're always doing that. But anyways, so two things that I'm starting off is each Monday, I'm starting a series on the 21 irrefutable laws. If you want to buy the book, you certainly can. You could join me in on this. On Mondays, we will start. When I was looking at the book, I really, really wanted to talk about influence as we're going through some unique challenges in our world today, as well as in our business, as the market is kind of causing a shift, whatever you are, financially, lending, insurance, real estate, whatever it might be, that there's a little bit of a shift. There's some uncertainty. We looked at some of the numbers with inflation. We looked at some of the things where it's forecasting more and more to go into the R word, even though some of us feel we're in it. Some of us don't want to admit to it. I don't really care because it's up to you personally on what goes on. I can't change gas prices. I can't change grocery prices, but I can change my income. I can change because we are entrepreneurs. We have an opportunity to change our income. We have an opportunity to influence others, as well as we have an opportunity to create interest in others for people to, and I want you to write this down. This is very important. We need to start attracting and stop chasing. Many of us are chasing day after day after day instead of attracting in our world. And so one of the things I want to talk about in the leadership role is I'm going to read to you something from the proverb, but before I get into it, I want to describe leadership because some of you might be like, well, I'm not a leader. What do you mean I'm a leader? Okay, we're all leaders in some capacity. Okay, we lead our family. We lead significant others. We lead churches. We lead school groups. Maybe we do lead a team. But here's the most important person or thing, not thing, but most important person you're leading: yourself. You're leading yourself. I'm very blessed and fortunate that I get text messages and direct messages throughout my week of people that I haven't talked to. There was a school teacher that I haven't spoken to in probably over 15 years. Her husband passed and she's going through some challenges with her son. I haven't spoken to this lady literally in 15 years. She sent me a message yesterday or 2 days ago stating the influence that I've had on her life over the last 6 months during the death of her and her family. I had no idea that I was doing that. And many of you on this phone right now have no idea that somebody is following you, watching you, listening to you in some capacity, whether it's your children, Pat, whether it's your significant other, whether it's just your neighbors. I have my neighbors who say to me, man, I really watch loving you with your children. I was like, me? I was like, well, you have kids too. But people watch you when you least expect it. And so we are leaders in some capacity, in some form, and we have to hold ourselves. We're on this call for a reason, not because we're bored, not because I don't pay any of you to be on this call. Okay. You all choose to be on here today, and you might have invited somebody, influenced somebody to be like, hey, you know what? This is what I do. Maybe you be a good fit to it. And so part of the leadership proverb says this. I thought it was a really cool passage. That the proverb says, he who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. If you can't influence people, then they will not follow you. And if people won't follow you, then you are not a leader. In the law of influence and interest, no matter what anybody else may tell you, remember that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And I thought that message was so powerful. I really did, because unfortunately, we all know a story of somebody, and this is going to sting somebody on here, and I apologize if it does, but it's just the truth. And there's a story out there. But I've talked to, and Chad and I do some success school stuff, and I was in a high school and I taught that for 10 years, was in the school system for 12, and no close people, family members included, that they don't have a relationship with their father. And it pains me when I hear the relationship that they don't have with their father. And I'm like, what happened in that leadership moment? What happened in that relationship? And maybe there's certain things, whether it's a mother, nothing against mothers, and there's stories like that just as much. But when you listen to people, Eric Thomas specifically, when he talks about his mother was with him, his biological father left them. But you hear stories like that. You hear stories of your relationships, and I can say with my dad, I'm very blessed and fortunate. He's still in my life. He inspires me. He gives me my work ethic. But there's all stories that we have because there's an influence of us following them. It's pretty common, right? That we will follow our parents' footsteps in some capacity. But here's the thing that my dad and I switch gears because the influence that my dad has on me, I outgrew in certain situations. It doesn't mean it's wrong or right, but my father has limiting beliefs. Anytime I start to become really successful, or I tell him a story, he always comes back with putting me in a comfort position. He doesn't mean it. He's like, now, Brock, listen, you're going to make some money. Now make sure you save some of your money. Now make sure you put that away. Now, also, you got to make sure there's going to be people coming after you. And you got to be careful. Always look on your backside. I'm like, always like that. Like I get it. But comes from when you influence other people, you also got to filter what you absorb and hear. I already know that people are going to say something. I already said it to you the day after I got on my Michael Burt on Friday, Monday morning. I already sent text messages of people saying negativity, but that's just life. So when people influence you, could you agree? Thumbs up, yes or no? Could they influence you in a good way and can they influence you in a bad way? Would we agree to that? And who gets to decide what you bring in here? Who gets to decide that? Only you, Karen. Only you, Sandy and Christian and Colin and Dee. Only you get to decide that. Nobody else. Let me go into these couple key ingredients that I want to share with you this morning. What do you usually rely upon to persuade people to follow you? Now I'm going to share with you about 7 different characteristics, seven different factors that come into here. Okay. And I want you to write these factors down if you can. And I want you to think about them in your own personal life. I'm not going to go into detail with them like they do in this chapter, but we're going to talk a little bit about them this morning. The first one is I want you to think about it. If you were to grade yourself 1 to 10, 1 being, that this is not a factor in your life, and 10 means I really, really rely on this. Okay. Character, who you are. Do you know who you are? Would you say like your character is important to you or not important to you? Like how is that relating to your life? Character. Next is relationships. Who do you know? Who do you know? Right? Who do you know in your life? We talked about these 4 big ingredients, the big rocks on Wednesday during my big rocks for life. The next one is knowledge. Number 3 is knowledge. What do you know? What do you know? I studied yesterday for 2 hours on influence and interest. I studied for 2 hours on how I can attract people, not chase people. And then I wrote down a list of 5 people I need that these people need to know me so I can attract them and influence them like, hey, I could be a good fit to help your company or business. And I also made sure that these people were big and I want them to know that I have knowledge. Okay. I'm talking about, and to give you an example, I'm talking about superintendents of school districts, not principals anymore. I'm talking about superintendents. Why superintendents? Because they control money and they have the largest decision making to present into boards. Okay. So knowledge, I got to have knowledge. I got to understand. They have to know that I understand it. Intuition. Number 4 is intuition. What you feel. How many of you have heard this saying? Give me a thumbs up. My gut tells me this. Right? I have a feeling about this. I don't know yet. I don't know exactly. How many of you who have children that your kid doesn't say anything and you could just tell as soon as they walk in the door, you're like, what's wrong? What? Wait a minute. What happened? How many significant others? How many close people? You're like, something's not right with you. Right. Or they say it to you. Role reversal. They say it to you and you're like, they say like, hey, what's wrong, Brock? Oh, geez, I got to change my poker face. That's for sure. Right. The next one, number 5, experience. I think this one's a big one. Experience. Where have you been? Where have you been in your life? I always say this, that people make today's decisions based off of previous experiences. Okay. Next to that, I want you to peel back the onion. If you're in an entrepreneur setting and you're trying to dive deeper, you need to go back to the pre-existing experiences that they had. Why I love speaking to older people is because they have wisdom. And wisdom is they have previous experiences. So I always would be like, my dad, 5 kids, my mom, 5 kids. We're within 6 years of each other. Besides saying, what the hell were you thinking? I also say to them, like, how did you manage your time? Because I struggle a little bit between now double soccer, party, going here and everything else. I said, Dad, how'd you manage your time? He worked 12 hours a day. How did you manage it? How did you set up time with mom? Like, how did that look like? What did that mean? Because I got 2 kids. I don't have 5. So how did you do it, Dad? Yes, times are different, but you want to get people's experiences to give you wisdom to help you make today's decisions. Number 6, past success, what you've done. Now, one of the things I put on here, past success, I did put a little asterisk and I put there past challenges. I added past challenges for me personally, because I learned from my successes just as much as my challenges, if probably not even more through my challenges. My challenges, no joke, have literally put me in the position I am today. There's a reason why I had to go through hell and back, and then I went back down there again and then came back. Like I pretty much know the roadmap to it. Isn't that crazy? I know how to go back to hell. I 100% know how to get there. I know what happens. I can go to a bar today. I can go St. Patty's Day. I know I can drink, and then I know I can ruin my life completely. I know how to get my credit cards jacked up. I know how to not pay my bills. How many of us, you don't have to acknowledge this, but how many of us know that path? Like, we know how to get down there. Yet, the success of our life is sometimes unknown charted waters. We don't know what that is. We can have visions. Okay. One of the laws that John Maxwell talks about, the law of the lid. If anything, you got time today, go to YouTube and put in the law of the lid. I'll talk about the flea lid at another point, but the law of the lid is a really, really good story. And the last one is ability. The ability. What can you do? What is your potential? When you look at these, when I look at my ability and potential, I also want you to write down this today. I'm giving you guys a lot of actionable items today. I want a lot of action this week on Mondays. Okay. Your ability is inside your head. See, if I ask my dad what my ability is, he's probably going to share with me something that's going to keep me comfort and keep him comfort within his own personality scheme. Whereas if I said something crazy, now, Brock, careful, that sounds pretty big. Like, just before you do that, because I tell him, I said, Dad, there's certain parts of my money that I do not save. And there's a larger portion probably because I'm investing in myself. I listen to Grant Cardone, like him or not, I'm investing a lot of money in myself right now. It's just what I'm doing right now because I feel I'm taking momentum and I'm running with it. Some of you on here right now need to start talking to yourself and influencing yourself and putting more money into yourself. Jim Rohn talks about it all the time. Christian said it the last week. You have to invest in yourself. You can't take your money. Denzel Washington says it all the time. You can't take your money to the grave. There's no U-Haul behind a hearse. And at a certain point in your life, I'm telling you, you are influencing others that you don't even know in every domain of your life. Your kids are watching you. Your neighbors are watching you. Your parents are watching you. Your significant others watching you. And you better start watching you to influence you to grow, to influence you to be able to do whatever it is that you need, to attract people, to influence people in your life. There's a saying here. Their very essence, Harry Overstreet said this. I'm just reading it from the book here. The very essence of all power to influence lies in getting the other person to participate. How hard is it sometimes to get others to participate in what you're doing? Come on, let's go over here. Let's do this. I don't know, Brock. That seems a little crazy. Sandy and I we got a class we're working on together. And there's many different conversations. She probably did think I was crazy. And she says, I can't believe we're doing this. I can't believe this. I said, I know. And then I start thinking, I'm like, okay, Brock, where's my head going? Right. But I want you all, when you look at these 7 factors today, I want you to really see which one you can work on. I want you to work on one this week on how you can influence other people in your life. I'm telling you, the biggest one, if I was to take any of them, the top 2 is relationships and ability. That's my own personal preference. Our coach says it all the time, right, Chad? Money is not the problem. Enough people. We don't have enough people in our life. We don't have enough relationships in our life. We don't have enough significant opportunities in our life with relationships. We don't have enough strategic partners in our life. We're not talking to enough people who can help us get to where we need, and we're not helping other people get to where they need. Zig Ziglar has a saying, I don't know it verbatim, but the more that you help other people, it will come back into you. You pour into people, it will come back into you in some capacity, some form. Who can you help today? Who could you reach out to today and create something inside their head and influence them in some capacity? And the last one that I'll tell you, even though I didn't say it, well, I did say it, ability. Remove the lid, guys. You have the ability. And I want you to tell somebody what your ability is. Reach outside the box because you could influence them today. You could influence somebody today by sharing. Chad could say something to me. Hey, Brock, I just want you to know, like, I have the ability. Like, I need to be talking to more millionaires. I need to be talking to more millionaires. And I have the ability because I have the knowledge, and I need to work on relationships today. And I'm going to influence people today to know how to put their money. We all have this ability. He does. I can't do what he does. I can't do what Christian does, Glenn does, what Sandy does in multi families. But what I can do is help influence other people that they need to talk to Sandy. Because I'm good at influencing people. Right? So I'm going to challenge you today to influence somebody in some capacity with some of these factors. You know, it's funny. I just had a conversation with Mike this morning. I was like, Mike, I'm not too sure where this one's going to go. I said, but, you know, be ready in case. And he's like, listen, man, if you don't have time, it's okay. And unfortunately, Mike, I did run out of time. I spoke a little too much today on it. But Mike is one of those people. Let me just tell you, he's been an influence in my life. I shared this story with him today that I'm fortunate to have some larger meetings with larger people who own companies now, and one also a superintendent, because I want to help teachers understand the DISC, and I want to be able to do, like, literally, I put a proposal together for $250,000 to a school district who I was a teacher, for crying out loud. And to be able to say, I'm going to go and do this and be like, because Charlotte's one of the largest school districts in the country, and be like, okay, here's this proposal. Guys, you can influence hundreds and hundreds of people by just removing the lid and understanding these key ingredients. I'm living proof of it. And I want you to do the same thing, because you all can do it on here, 100%. So that being said, it is 8:41. It is 8:41. Power of influence is in you. I strongly recommend you guys getting this book. For those of you who are interested, in this book, all right, I need you to put your email in here or direct message me. I'm going to be doing a webinar next week. I don't know what time period it is because my schedule is getting a little bit more crazy, but I'm going to be doing the best of John. I'm going to take what I learned from John Maxwell, and I'm going to do a quick, probably 30-minute thing of basically everything I took from him. And I'm going to be sharing you quotes. I'm going to be sharing you what I learned. I'm going to be sharing you the people that I met. I'm going to share with you the people that you need to meet. If you want to be part of it, you got to put your email in the chat. You got to put your email in the Facebook. So then that way Jay can help me and we will send you over the registration. It's free. This one's a free one. I'm not charging anything because I want other people to understand John, because John said, he goes, you got to pray for winners in your life. And if I can help create winners in your life to be able to help you, I'm answering your prayer. I'm helping influence you. And I want to do what John did. And he helped thousands of people across this country, across this world. And I want to do the same thing. So make sure you put your email in there so we can get it out to you. This event, if you're interested with Sandy and I are doing an event on Friday dealing with multifamily. Let me just tell you, I've been learning a lot. It is a big ticket item, just to be upfront with you. It is a larger ticket item. It's $500. I know, remove the limiting belief. Just listen for it first, but it's going to really, really help you. I mean, it's very powerful on what she's doing. I mean, hell, she was in freaking St. Croix on the one of these calls one morning, and I'm like, okay, I need to know more about Sandy because that's freaking crazy. I mean, she's living proof of it. So if you're interested in that, that is igniteyourwealthtoday.com. So igniteyourwealthtoday.com. Feel free to take a look at that one. It is a webinar, so you across the country you can listen to it. And my boy Chad and I, he's been on a cruise. He's been in LA, and I need to talk to you, Chad. We got to get something brewing as well, buddy. We got to get something grooving and shaking here. So guys, happy Monday to you all. I hope you were able to take some notes. I hope you were able to get some strategies for today. I want to create some actionable items and share them with this. Put them in the Facebook group, guys. Put it in there and share with you what you've experienced, what you've done. I want to create more engagement on the Facebook. Some of you I'll be reaching out and putting you guys more as administrators so you guys can write into the Facebook, because I want more people to help other people share and grow. Guys, God bless you all. Have an awesome, awesome Monday. I will see you guys. Our boy Chad Freeze coming hot and heavy on Tuesday tomorrow, and it's supposed to be warmer. Man, look at those guns. He's just freaking, he was upset with Buster Douglas when Buster Douglas was on here and I was talking about him. Boy, Chad's got a story about boxing, guys. Let me just tell you, don't box with Chad. He showed off everybody the other. He told me his story. When you're bored, ask Chad. He'll tell you. Guys, have a phenomenal week, guys. Happy Monday to y'all. God bless you. Love y'all. We'll see you guys tomorrow.